what we're trying to... God damn, Jesus, this fucking ill-behaved crap. Oh my God. Hold on. God, I swear, it's just horrible the way PC games, some of them just do not behave well. When you tab away from them, they just don't. It's so irritating. Alright. Alright, there we go. So we're in Lamonth's garage, I believe is what the name of it is. Let's go back outside. We ended on Saturday. We were trying to get the snowmobile put together or fixed. And I think we had all the pieces except for the key. Alright, now what's going on? Don't tell me it's crashed. Please tell me the game just didn't crash. Yeah, I've got the Windows. Yep, it crashed. Kona not responding. Wow, this is just lovely. You do all your pre-stream checks and you get everything ready and you actually start playing the game and it crashes on you. The game has crashed. Alright, well, let's try this again. Let's restart it. Let's turn off the capture device. Don't need to see that. We'll move the game back up here. Oh my God, this is fucking horrible. All right, try again. Okay, as I was saying, we were trying to get the snowmobile put back together. Pieces of it were scattered in the Lamonth's garage or Garage Lamonth's area. And I think we had all the pieces, including the gas. We had happened to pick up a gas can.
Carl deducted this was a map of the area. Were those pins pointing to places of interest?
We've already been to those two places. But I think we need the key to start it. So we had picked up a gas can at, I think it was the old man's house. He had a shack on his property. All right, so we have the gas can, but it's in the truck. Right now you can use the truck as storage. Ty, thank you for the host. Thank you. And then we've been storing
Carl
logs
still
in here.
wasn't done with the mechanic's place.
Yeah, gas can, it is full. We did take it back to the gas station and fill it up. And we spent the longest time looking for one of the ski tracks. And it turned out it was in the back of this car in the trunk. So we have all of that stuff. We just need to find the key. And one of the viewers had mentioned something about there being something in the journal. Crash. Okay. mystery. That's all the weird ice that we're seeing. Cold mystery, 4 of 4. Alright, what happened to... Okay, we've got 2 and 3 that we've got pieces to find. Poor man trapped in ice. This issue goes beyond simple mechanic. Good old Lamont, as mad as he is, wanted to keep some information safe. I cannot reach it from the inside, but there is no doubt I need to get a hold of this paper. Apparently, this guy tossed a piece of paper up into a bucket. Let's see. That was hanging from the ceiling, from the rafters in the garage. Okay, let's see what we got here. We've got some of this stuff. Let's see, some of this we've already read. Alright. I can easily trace back the chain of events. Hamilton wants to send a very confidential denunciation letter to the Secret Service in Ottawa. He is planning on sending the letter inside of a locked box and to send the key separately. It's cumbersome, but he's doing what he can, but something throws him off while he's in a hurry. He locks everything and mails the key, but the box somehow ends up in his killer's hands. When you find death threats and the person threatened is found dead, one could say the case solves itself. Only a shame the note isn't signed. Page 2. Isabella's picture being in the reckless driver's car suggests Dr. Beaupre has something to do with all of this. All that's left is to figure out his exact role. It's never good to disclose communist ties in a small village like this where established order is fiercely defended. Was it only intellectual curiosity on the doctor's part or actual convictions? Gilles Lachance went to the doctor's. Now I need to know if the doctor saw Gilles. I know how to lead the perfect investigation. There's some pieces missing in there. The picture in the upper left. Réjean Blovin, that's the old man, has clear ties to the FLQ, a revolutionary for justice and freedom. Might as well say it here. It seems like a perfectly imperfect fit for the savagely capitalistic dreams of a rich Anglophone, and today the village's rich Anglophone was killed. He's the guy that's got the warm clothes that we're trying to get as well. Let's see, another tidbit. Murder. Hamilton had committed murder. Is the mechanic to be trusted? If so, is this whole thing just a big vendetta? An open grave. I am scrapping any animal-related hypothesis. There was a human body here. This is Lamont's land, so what does he have to do with this? Who was buried here? This is getting darn complicated. I think that grave is down by the secret... There's a secret location down the way from here. But if I remember right, near the fire there, where we found the locked fence, there was a dug grave. Yeah, see right there in that picture on the right-hand side. Let's see. This file seems incomplete. Who is this Cree woman and what happened to her? Everything points to a certain death, but no death certificate. That's a pretty shitty picture on the bottom left. I'm no doctor, but I see fresh blood when I see it. Somebody bled profusely in the office less than 2 days ago. Nothing weird about that. I think that's the picture that I took of the bed in the doctor's office where the blood was. And there's very little light in there at the time. I could probably go back and take a picture of it now that I've found the lights and got them turned on. Who is at the bottom of this pit? An open grave, and it was certainly not for an animal. A small person dug up recently, methodically. I'm not sure what question I should be asking. Why did someone dig them up? Or why were they buried there in the first place? The blood, the disturbed burial site, the wounded victim treated at the doctor's office. All of this leads to one conclusion. A deadly hunting accident. A young Cree woman in the wrong place at the wrong time. A scheme to keep it all hidden. What a mess. Alright, now, let's see. This is all the people that we know of. Oh, I'm sorry. It's old Rosaire is the old man. Sorry. These are all my pictures. Okay. Part of the problem is taking a nap in the middle of the day. It doesn't always get you completely refreshed. Okay, we were looking for documents. Where are our documents? Parts manual. Is it right here? Suspension has way too many parts. Taking puzzle apart is easy. Looking for a clue about the key. Ah, body. That would make a nice beach chair pad. That's actually where we found it. Electrical. This lamp is pretty well made, suitable for use even in the harshest of winters. I think I'll place it on my top secret prototype in the garage. Space has got to be pitch black and damn cold after all. Okay. Steering. I have to hurry up and finish this machine if I'm going to travel around the powder snow all winter. Alright, I've managed to untangle and replace the brakes cable. Dead on time for October. Now how about a nice and light blanket of snow, early snow, to get the fun begin. Aha, fine. Install all the parts. Get the spark plug I've ordered back in August. That was in the mailbox over by where the truck is parked. Find the snowmobile's ignition key. I think it's on my bunch of keys, which should be on the generator powering my top secret workshop. Aha! Down south, in which I'm working on my equally top secret machine. Anyways, gotta find that key. Now that I've siphoned off the snowmobile's gas to feed my truck, I'll have to refuel it if I'm to wander in the snowbanks at any point. At some point. Okay, so we've got the gas, so we know where the key is now. Problem is, we couldn't figure out how to get past the gate. The gate had a lock on it. Yeah, see, here's the mailbox where the spark plug was at right here. It's going to be empty now, but... See, there was some more ice up here, but I think we've already taken a picture of that. We'll do it anyway. And now the first time we came through here, there was a wolf, but we did kill it. We did come back later. And there was not another wolf there, so... Alright, so it looks like it's going to be clear from here on out. You can see the fire off in the distance. Some more of the ice. We've already taken a picture of that. There's the grave. I'm sure we took a picture of this, but we'll do it again anyway, just to be safe. Alright, here's our fire. this is the fence that was padlocked. We could use the bolt cutters to get past it earlier. But the problem is, there's a satellite dish blocking our way up here, and there's a fence with a padlock on it, but we can't do anything to that. Aha, I didn't see that before. There we go. I'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, this is the secret project that he was referring to in the notes. Let's see, here's a padlock right here, and we have a pair of bolt cutters, but it won't let us do it for whatever reason. And it looks like there's a switch over there that we need to interact with, but we got to get this dish out of the way, and we couldn't figure that out the other day. So now that we've just noticed this path, this is likely the way to go. It'll circle all the way back around to that switch, and it might actually move the dish. Oh yeah, and it can go. Oh nice, we've got some more supplies here maybe. Maybe not. Nice. Can I get back this way now? Nope. Gotta go all the way back.
The electric terminals appeared to be linked together, but for what purpose? So that's where the generator key was hiding. All that was left was to use it.
I don't know if the color of the wires are significant or not, so we've got a blue one coming here. Goes out to the red, which comes here. So as it is, it's... See, I don't know what the significance of the plus and minus are. I mean, I know what they are in general, but in this case...
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore. Carl rejoiced at the unexpected source of heat, but not as much as his freezing hands. Yeah, you can see here how each one of these affects your health, your body warmth, and your clarity of thought. Med kit obviously helps your health. Cigarettes drop your health a tiny bit, but they give you some mental clarity. Painkillers help both. Water helps clarity. And it also has a weight at the bottom. You can see the red sections of the bar at the bottom. We'll wait for the body heat to get back up, and then we'll take another trip over there. Kind of makes me wonder if maybe there's a fire at the other end of the path up there where the bicycle is. Potentially keep me warm. Okay, so we were doing positive. Out here, so we've got positive there. Negative on the red coming out. Okay, now if that's true, then we've got yellow is positive. And it looks like we've got two lines coming out over here. Yellow to positive, green will be negative, and where's the green going? The green is cut. Cut. We can fix that. On. All right. Blue. Coming out of a negative. Okay. Right, so that's a negative on the blue, and that's coming all the way over here to the negative terminal. Okay, which leads us to positive on the yellow. It's cut. What the fuck? So are I guess the sparks, it's going out. From whichever one is active. We just did green. Out to green. This is so fucking confusing. All right. Anything? Tracks, the ski, suspension, electrical. No, nothing in there. Is dropping again. Okay, the negative terminal. Unless that just has no bearing on it whatsoever. The actual labeling. It's sparked up on the blue. This goes all the way over to the negative. But we need to get something coming in on this one. It can't be the yellow because the yellow is cut. So it has to be either the green or the red. The green comes down there on the floor, goes up over the railing, behind the railing, above, over, around, up and down. Okay. Now we need to get juice coming into here. From the blue, did we get this one? Let's see. So we need juice coming into here from yellow. Oh, great. We've already done this one, though.
fucking paper to do this. Not exactly the way I wanted to start the stream. That fucking mental puzzle. Alright, so he's got yellow, blue, red, and green. Excuse me, and green. And we've got blue wire. Yes, cat. I don't. Yeah, well, I don't know what I am right now. This one goes to the positive. And which one? Okay, the red one from here goes to the red one there. I really hate doing this kind of shit. You have to take out a damn piece of paper to solve a puzzle. The yellow one there. Is actually cut. So that guy is cut. Green. Is cut.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
Well, don't make it so fucking hard and I won't have to worry about the heat. I still don't know if the positive and negative terminals on those switches make a difference or not. I don't know. How goes, man? How was your Labor Day? Did you labor? I worked. Don't know how to explain what you're thinking in regards to how to answer the question that I asked or something else. Okay, now we've got this guy, the green one there. Is cut. All right,
the blue one here is cut. Okay. The yellow one goes to the yellow over here. Okay, so we'll draw our line to there. Does it cover all those? Yes. All right, now this guy, already got the yellow one covered. The blue, looks like it's cut. Okay. Yes. Yes, that is correct. But only certain wires can come out in certain directions. I'm trying to figure out which stations, for lack of a better term, which stations can connect using which wires. We'll worry about the switches in a minute. I mean, we've got to connect the negative to the positive, but we got to get the wires straight first. Green one here. Goes to the green one there. Okay. Missing on this one, the red one. Where does the red one go? The red one goes red one is cut. Okay, now we got to do this guy. We've already got the green one covered for him, and we'll go blue first. Does the loop-de-loop. And I think that one's connected to the terminal. That one's connected to the negative. Okay, so we got that. Yellow. Let's see, where are we at here? I don't know who you are, and I don't recognize your number, so don't be offended if I don't answer the phone. Yellow one there is cut. We just need the red. Alright, the red. Is cut. So, okay. So the blue one goes to there. This blue one goes to here. Okay. Okay, so our reference point is in front of the door. So we've got to get juice to the blue, which means we've got to get it to the blue. Okay, so that's connecting the blue wire to the blue terminal, the positive terminal here. So if that's the case, then we've got to get juice coming into the red. If I'm reading this correctly,
I don't know if that's the alignment that's expected here. So I'm going to guess that that is. So if that's it, then the red comes down to this one, and it's negative, so we need to rotate this one until the negative symbol is on the red. And we're just going to send it out the yellow. We're just going to send it over here on the positive line on the yellow. So we need to rotate that to there, which should send it out the green, which is the negative, which will end up here. So we just need to, it should be positive, right? No, see? So we've got to get negative on the green, which it is, which will send it out on the blue. So I don't, see, that doesn't, I don't get it. Don't get it. All right, we've got positive voltage coming out to the blue, which sends it to the shack. Right? Step through this one more time, and then if I can't get it this time, then I will listen to your theory. We've got negative going out on the red side, comes all the way over here to this terminal, which is negative, unless it needs to be negative to positive. That doesn't sound right. Okay. Now it's supposed to come out to you. I mean, the wires are lining up when I do it this way. Right? The wires connect everything this way. So that must mean that I have maybe the polarity on the switches wrong. Okay. So we have red to positive on the yellow side. Comes in over here.
Carl wondered how long he would have to endure this skin-stinging cold.
Shut up. Okay. So we had our blue coming in over here, right? Or was it, I'm sorry, it was red. Negative going out the yellow. Right? Positive. Positive on the yellow, negative on the green.
that's wrong because it's supposed to be negative. So maybe, all right, well, so let's work backwards from this end. This needs to be negative, which means that positive needs to come in on this yellow wire, but this one's cut. It's got to be this one's backwards. No. Alright, Hascat, what's your idea? I'm tired of fucking with this. This is bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Right, that's what I did. Right, okay. Positive on the blue. Comes around, up over here, down to here. Down to here. Okay, positive. Right there. Okay. We did that. We send negative juice. Right. Okay. Okay, we've gotten the blue negative here, but how is that going to work? Because the yellow is cut. Okay, negative from the door. To the switch. Yeah, negative. Okay, positive. Got it. That's what I was trying to do before when I was trying to work backwards. The only thing that I can think of, and it's been a long time since I've done electricity, but when you're chaining sources together, do you connect them from negative terminal to negative terminal, or from negative terminal to positive terminal, then negative terminal on that switch to positive terminal on the next one? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of right now. So then this would mean then that one would need to be positive. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's been a long time since I've done electricity. But see, if I make that switch, no pun intended, and we go green here, this green is cut. So I don't know what the problem is. It should work like this. There's got to be something else that we're missing. wires up here. Oh, okay. I just guess I didn't realize that we can stand right here next to the radiator and warm up. God, what a doofus. It's just really kind of been a, I don't know, pretty weird day. Should have just stayed in bed, I guess. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, it just worked. I mean, did you hear the
Open sesame.
All we did was rotate this around. Okay, so positive on the red down here went to negative there. Positive on the yellow here went to, wait a minute. Positive on this to make sure we're tracing the right wire. It's this one to negative. Positive on the green to negative. Alright, so I guess it was. It looks like what I was talking about before was the case, is the things that are connected have to have opposite polarity. So we've got positive here, but it's coming negative here. Coming into this one positive means it would have had to have come out of this one on the negative, and it come into this one on the positive on the yellow, which would mean it would have to be negative here, which it is. Yeah. And then the green positive there and the negative there, then a positive on the blue goes to the negative on the blue here. All right. Gee, Merry Christmas.
At last, so big an effort for an oh so
Thank
tiny
you.
piece of metal.
Even Mr. Narrator guy understands. do. Spark plug. Ah, there we go. So we do have the key. All right. But see, that would require an almost, a basic understanding of
It was so
electronics, right?
cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
I mean, hell, I do. It's been a long time since I've had to use it, and it was still confusing me, so whatever. All right, now we just need to make sure we stop at the truck, pick up the gas can.
Carl still wasn't done with
We know that. We will be shortly, though.
the mechanic's place.
You never know, right? Yeah, that's one of the issues. I mean, it's not a big issue, but it's just a loading screen.
The mechanic was still frozen, and Carl had everything he needed, so he felt ready to leave.
Oh, nice. All right, so anything that you have in the truck automatically becomes available in the snowmobile, and vice versa. Oh, you did you talking about the last part of the skis that I was looking for the other day, or because there was a lot of pieces that we needed to find. The last piece that we needed was in the trunk of this car. We walked by here so many times. Walked around here so many times looking for that last piece, and we didn't find it. And Doc Henson was here, and he suggested, "Well, did you look in the trunk of that car?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, we walked by that thing so many times and didn't even look. I guess maybe subconsciously when I saw the hood open, I thought maybe that was the trunk. I don't know. This doesn't necessarily help us plot-wise. does help transportation-wise. Because now we should be pretty much able to go anywhere we want, as long as we stay warm. We still need to find the white wine. So we gotta find the white wine in order to combine it with the sherry so that we can create the caribou for the old man, so he'll give us the warm clothes so we don't have to worry about the cold as much. And now that other cave is over here. Loading screen. I don't know. We haven't had to fill up. We haven't had to fill up the truck outside of the first time. So I do not know if
seemed to be more brutal here than anywhere
that's going to be an issue
it
or
seeped
not.
into bones and into every breath to get to the heart until it stopped.
All right, okay, well,
Carl
let me go
needed
then.
to be dressed in warm clothes to survive.
All right, so we need to go back. If it'll let us get there in time.
Carl wondered how long he would have to endure this skin-stinging cold.
Oh shit, I went the wrong way, didn't I? God damn it. Okay, let's look at the map. Okay. We've pretty much, you see the blue circle where the snowmobile is and the yellow triangle or the yellow arrow where I am. We've covered all, we've went to all of the buildings on this side of the bridge. Now the old man, I think, was on the right. The one just to the left of the doctor's office, which is obviously the plus sign. But we didn't go. The gas station is where the bottle and the apple are, and obviously the gas pump. We didn't go to those three houses directly south of that, or I don't remember. I think we went to the cave. That might be the next thing to try and do.
much time trying to solve that damn electricity puzzle. Sign to the doctor's house. Doctor's house is to the right there. This is the bridge, and we'll hang to the right, and it should take us back to the gas station. We'll go ahead and check and see if we can fill up. Gas can. If it even needs to be. Should be right up here on the left. Yep.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily.
That's right, we gotta turn
In
it
all
in.
likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Yeah, that was another point of confusion.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar
Was
so
how the
easily.
electricity
In all
worked in
likelihood,
this
they had to
building.
be switched on from inside the store. Really? So the gas cans are one-time use only? Really? So I fill up the snowmobile with the gas can and I no longer have a gas can. Yeah, it's gone. What the fuck? Really? Wow. Okay. Thank you, I guess. A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Let me see if there's a gas can in here. I don't remember there being one. The old man's place is where I got the one that I had. order to get that gate that we kept going back through to go do the electricity puzzle, to go back to the fire, that gate was locked, had a padlock on it. There was a crowbar that we needed. It was pinned underneath this hydraulic lift, and we had to manipulate the electricity like we did over there before to get the car raised so we could get the crowbar up or out. Alright, so see, I can't look at the map while I'm on the snowmobile. Alright, so we need to go this way. I have to get off the snowmobile to look at the map. I'm looking for a driveway. Mailbox.
The crossbow bolt stuck into the wooden stairs reminded Carl of the arrow that was said to have hit Achilles' heel. But who was the intended Achilles this time?
Alright, we'll check the journal entry once we get inside. Assuming we can get inside.
The air was freezing, right down to the bone.
It's another frozen person. Just like in the garage. It's like another flashback kind of thing.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay. The pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked. It's likely that poor Giselle was slow cooking it before she got snapped. What a waste.
Article about the store.
The general store,
Shayla
along
Johns.
with several more infrastructures in the area, had been acquired by wealthy industrialist William J. Hamilton.
He's the guy that hired
Perhaps
us.
the village should be rechristened Hamiltown.
Founded by Bertrand Lachance more than 20 years ago, the general store, better known as Chez Lachance, is one of Manistan's economic mainstays. Since the passing of his aged owner, however, business wasn't as booming as it once was. Gilles Lachance, inheritor of the humble establishment, had no choice but to sell everything to William Hamilton, the rich and famous businessman, who sparked a major controversy last year when he announced the reopening and expansion of his copper mine. As of now, operations at the general store are expected to remain unchanged despite the change of hands. Gilles Lachance still helms the register. Oh, we were going to read the
Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachances had just moved in.
dominoes.
Ah, moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box.
The hunt. A strange hunt is underway in the village, and the crossbow bolts left behind are disturbing to say the least. They seem to glow as if they were constantly being heated by fire without that fire spreading from where it was stuck. How is this possible? At the Lachance home. Okay. New there. It's all the photos. Caribou footprints. Nothing new.
What a mess. Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days. Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound together by the chains of conventional love.
Film! Yay! We do have to find film for the
Many
camera.
boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachances had just moved in. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days.
Alright, we're coming up on a break here.
The cross looked after a marriage's well-being and served as a motivator to uphold the priest's sermons calling for more little worshippers on one hand and cautioning against guilty pleasures on the other. Indeed, the Lachances were still part of the God-fearing generation. The otherworldly ice had struck again. The woman's hopes and dreams were frozen in eternity.
Yeah, the weird thing about the frozen people is it doesn't affect you unless you're facing it. See, because I can get literally right on top of it, but if my back is to it...
That window had seemingly been left open for a while, Carl thought. Given the punishing weather, it couldn't have been intentional.
But as soon as I turn around, it does that.
Carl felt a cool, tingling sensation in his back. Another vision took over him.
Follow the hands.
Something was hidden under the stairs. The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
Oh, that's not good. Shot his wife. Maybe.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately. It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Oh,
The vision
diary.
scale was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Gilles' loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
Zell's diary, page 1, September. Once we read this, we'll take a break. Mother once told me when I first met Gilles, that I hadn't picked the brightest bulb of the lot. And as the years fly by, I'm seeing the truth of her words. Always trust your mother's wisdom. That blackmailing scheme is a prime example of Gilles' brightness. He's like a small dog. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is. He growls, genuinely thinking he's scary, but everyone knows he can be pushed aside with just a little kick. He truly believes he can blackmail Hamilton, the big boss himself. It's going to be a long time in hell before my poor Gilles can manage to pull off such a feat. After all, Hamilton's a rich, learned, and influential man. Not only is that blackmailing idea bad to begin with, let's be honest, Gilles is way out of his league, but Gilles doesn't even know how he's actually going to carry this out. I don't even think he ever would. He's just throwing random threats out loud in the kitchen. He says he'll do it eventually, but I know better. Successful blackmailing requires masterful cunning, and Gilles is master of nothing. He is a slave and forever will be. I often look at that safe he keeps hidden in the fake wall, in which he stores all these incriminating documents he intends to use, and I just can't come to grips with the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. Alright, let's go back over there, then we'll go empty the bladder. Alright, yeah, we'll take a break here. Let's see. Oh, what do we got on the lineup here? Let me tab out. Let's see, what are the next two? We've got about 8 minutes or so, 8.5-ish, something like that. So yeah, give me a few minutes, stretch my legs, get something to drink. Well, I have something to drink, but check on the kitty cat. I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that. Let me switch back. Oh my god, these ill-behaved games drive me crazy. Alright, here we go. Jeez, man, it's like, oh, they don't all behave the same. I should just stop playing on PC. It's just more of a hassle than it's worth at times. You can get your games cheaper and all of that, but God, it's just some of the other stuff for a streamer. It's just a pain in the ass. Okay.
Carl had seen that kind of safe before. With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
So we're talking about just a single letter and a single number? Seems awfully simplistic.
Moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box.
Ain't that the truth? Now, did we find anything in here? Let's see, Hamilton's. Anything in here? The woman, the locked box, reckless driver, cold mystery. No, nothing else in there. No. Cold mystery. That's the guy in the garage with the home-built UFO, as it were. Is it there? An open grave, murder. Let's see, that's the thing, right? This is Giselle. The woman had only one episode of bad luck in her life, so it seems, meeting Joseph Chance and marrying him. Since then, disappointments piled up. She is the brain in the couple. Poor Jills can't even imagine a 3-digit combination. She turned to ice while waiting for her husband by the window. It's awful. Okay. I don't remember seeing anything in the vision. Unless I was supposed to pay attention in the vision. I mean, 3. Could it potentially be 3? Maybe the number be 3. But what about the letter, though? Okay, so it does remember what I had, looks like. God, what a shitty mechanic. I can't switch. I can't switch between dials. I can only go from the second one to from the first one to the second one. So I validate that one, but I can't go back. If I hit back, it backs me all the way out. back for that. So I don't know if we have any way to... Doctor's note. Oh, that's right. He was the guy that was sick. Followed by 3 numbers I had to engrave behind his pendant. His father's first initial, but there's only 1 number dial. Three numbers behind his pendant, so the picture on the wall. So it's going to be B something. The pendant. Pick that up, did we? Inventory. No.
Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachauses had just moved in. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days.
I'm beginning to wonder if, beginning to think that that pendant is not going to be here. I mean, even including the snowmobile, not everything was there in the garage for us to fix it. We did have to go to the secret place. Alright, so there is a cave directly to our left. Nothing here.
Texas up top in the back. Let's go around the house. Okay. What's back there? Takes us back towards the gas station. Don't see any hoof prints. Okay. Oh, hello.
A shiver ran down Carl's spine as he glanced over another body trapped in ice. Indeed, the scene was quite chilling. Carl felt familiar shivers going down his spine, and he was back to the realm of visions. To all
Mysteries
appearances,
Journal.
this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
The beast enjoys long slumbers. Its sanctuary seems impregnable. Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out, to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence. A cold dread grabbing at your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. Hey, Ty, what's going on, man? John Von Zombie, how's it going, dude? Welcome back. I think I remember your tag there. How's it going, guys? I need to switch my tab on my browser so I can see chat on the internet versus the bot, because it's like right there. Okay, anyway. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it. I tracked it, but to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice. Excuse me. But I do know this. It is the work of the beast. It attacks, curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. It was as if past and present were one, or as if I was a spider and with my 8 eyes I could see backward and forward simultaneously. This beast, this creature, is not of this world. I must find the beast again, and if necessary, eliminate it. Interesting, okay. It's going good. Had a little bit of a frustrating puzzle at the very beginning of the stream. There's the pendant.
What could these engraved numbers mean?
I know
A
exactly
fresh
what they
path
mean.
suddenly appeared before Carl.
I know exactly what those are for.
had to do with rerouting electricity to open a door. Remember when we were looking for all the ski mobile stuff the other day? Ty, yesterday? Was it yesterday or Saturday, whenever it was?
The vision slowly faded away, like an icicle melting in the palm of your hand. Carl, back in the real world, now knew who the icebound man was. Gilles Lachance, the general store manager himself.
He'd be frozen. All right, let me pause it here for a second. Get my. This game is not very well behaved for losing focus, because a lot of apps, well, just about every app that I've ever seen on Windows or Mac or whatever, if you Alt-Tab away from it to something else, it stays where it was. This game does not do that. It moves the window down to the bottom of the screen when you tab out of it. It's like, this is really weird. All right, so where are we?
That had to be the worst parking job ever. Who was Carl to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts. Or not.
All right, so the first thing we need to do is make sure we get warmed back up. We got to go back to the house because we've got to open that safe. Because one of the clues that the man's wife that we just, the man that we just found the wallet of and the frozen body of, she left a note or a clue in her diary as to, yeah, Mr. Narrator guy's like, yeah. Leaves a little bit to be desired as far as clarity and consistency and stuff like that, so. I'm hoping. Let's see if we can find the body again. I don't want to. There's some more ice. We already get this one. There he is. Ooh. Aw. I would really like to have that gun. Yep, there's the guy that we just found the wallet of right there. Frozen solid. Alright, we are heading in the right direction. Loading screen. Come on. Come on, Carl. Carl! Let's warm up. All right, the safe. The safe is right there. We need the B. And we need the numbers off of the pendant. Does it matter? There we go, 739. Let's see if there are any of these we don't have yet. We need to go back over the strange vision I had when I got near the ISIS puzzling. My investigator brain keeps focusing on a small detail that may be pointless. A necklace with the number 739 engraved. What is that about? The general store manager's wife, Giselle Lachance, frozen. What freezer is behind all of this? For what it's worth, a vision told me that things weren't going so well between the Lachances. They were hiding many things from each other deep, deep down. The woman's diary speaks volumes about that. She even reveals the secrets within her husband's safe. Apparently there's some documents, incriminating documents against Hamilton, if you remember who that was from the other day. Ty. Many screams and secrets between them. Alright, let's see if we can figure out how to work this safe. So it was B, right? Seven. 3. 9. Compromising document. William Hamilton is a crook. He has been blackmailing everyone in the village, including myself included, like the infamous Seraphine Poudre. And this document is proof of every bribe paid by Hamilton to the federal authorities in regards to the acquisition of his damn mine. The fact that he used his henchmen to instill terror within the village will not sway the tribunals down in Montreal, but the fact that he has been bribing government officials surely will. I can already picture it making the front page. The English are all the same. We will prevail. Yeah, meat popsicle. Written with different ink. Aha. Hamilton is not only a crook, but a murderer. I do not believe in his remorse. I firmly believe he will pay for his crime. I do not believe in native magic, but I do believe in their vengeance. And cheers, guys, on this Margarita Monday. No. I don't actually know if that gets... kept or not. Or is it just the ice outside? Oh, no, I guess it does. Okay. Maybe I should have taken pictures of the other frozen people. The other meat popsicles. Okay, so map time. We need to go across the street. Go back outside, get the snowmobile, go across the street. Get that house and then the house to the south of it. There's the crossbow bolt. Heated for some reason. Okay, now, see, here's another quirk in the game. You can't, while you're driving a car, you can pull out the map while you're driving, but you can't do that in the snowmobile. Got to get off. Just weird.
treasure map. Treasure map 1, that leads you to believe that there's actually 2. Letter for Marie, my sweet Marie. May the treasure hunt begin. I have hidden wonderful little things for you to find all over the village. Following my clues, you are holding in your hands the first map. The hunt begins at my place. You are so clever, I'm certain you will find everything. Martin. What was the other one? Did they not have a mailbox? Maybe not. Really?
What was even the point of locking your door if everyone hid their key in the same place? Carl was starting to feel like his investigator life lacked challenge.
Coke! I still say
A
that
true
looks like
Catholic
drugs,
always
man.
strives to keep lowly temptations at bay.
Right?
Obviously,
Or is it
Carl thought, someone in this house
some
wasn't
cocaine
doing a
bricks?
good job at upholding the Holy Bible's teachings.
Gas can. Gas cans, we found out, are one-time use only. Another quirk in the game. Once we found all the parts for the snowmobile and the key, we had to fill it up. Now we have no gas can, or had no gas can. Hopefully. Some kind of totem. See, we saw one of these. There were actually 3 of them at the beginning of the game. I'm guessing it was kind of a, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil kind of thing. The Bedards.
Carl smiled at the sight of the nicely protected garden. Hopefully, the Bedards had managed to dig every last potato out before the sudden snowfall.
Aryans.
The house smelled like incense, the kind that reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
Hopefully I can fill up my water bottles. Thank you. Wait a minute. Alright. I don't understand. Alright, let's try something here. It's another quirk. Inventory. It says when we tried to fill up an empty water bottle that my inventory was full. So apparently it keeps empty bottles separate in your inventory. From full bottles. Alright,
so we're gonna go. We're gonna drink. We're gonna drink some serious water here. Didn't help a whole lot. Oh, okay, a little bit better than I thought. All right, now we can fill them back up. Etch-a-sketch! How did they draw the sun? What do you mean, how did they draw the sun? It's a little weird. Yeah, see, this is the second place we've seen this exact same pile of stuff where we needed to attach wire, but we haven't found any wire. More film. I assume I can actually cook those steaks.
Religion was very influential throughout Quebec many years ago. Indeed, it was surprising that Carl did not come across a single chapel since arriving here.
Oh, sure, absolutely. It ain't easy, but it can be done, right? Yeah, you can do it. Just takes a lot of practice. All right, we're going to have to drop something. What do you mean Carl's inventory is full? What the hell? Oh great, now I don't have my bolt cutters anymore because of the stupid log. Why can't I pick that up but not the log? Equip. I'm gonna equip a steak. Okay, so, all right, let's do this. I just want to get a fire started. That's all I want, guys. It shouldn't be this hard. Okay, we dropped the water. Thank you. How many bottles of water is it going to let me pick back up. If it's only going to give me one, I'm not going to be happy. All right, good. It gave me all 4 of them back.
The perfect cookie-cutter Catholic family, most likely attending church every Sunday.
All right, who is this? It wouldn't let me pick up any potato. That's actually something that I wanted to try. The steaks may already be cooked because I don't have a prompt to turn on the stove or put anything in it. I mean, I would assume it would work. Graphical glitch. Alright, so let's try something here. Oh, okay. All right, I know. I know what the steaks are for the wolves. It's to distract the wolves. I don't think they're for you to eat.
Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole? The praise for toys was stupefying.
I agree with you. I want the beef.
Love of religion and ancestors was rooted deep inside the hearts of Canadians of old, to which the Bedards appeared to be closely related.
Hanging disposable diapers?
The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers. The empty cradle sent an eerie feeling down Carl's spine, as if minutes ago someone just grabbed the baby and made a run for it.
Yeah, fortunately you can turn down the frequency at which Mr. Narrator guy speaks. Marie's diary.
Jean-Luc Bedard had without a doubt been the closest man in the village to William Hamilton, otherwise known as Uncle Willie.
August 16th. I have a diary just like Mom. Unlike her, though, I don't wear a long face when writing, but I do love to write my thoughts. And about Martin. Okay, this is the girl that Martin wrote the treasure hunt note to. And about, I assume, and about Martin most of all. I love talking about him. I think he loves me too. Just like in Romeo and Juliet. People don't like it when I see him only because he's a bly. But just like in the story, nothing can stand in the way of true love. 2 days later, I lost appetite. I can't sleep anymore. Every waking hour, intense shivers run through my body. Dad's making me see Dr. Beaupre with his big hands touching me everywhere. His foul stench exhaling all over my face. Yuck, I'm not sick. I'm in love. I love Martin so much. There's nothing I like better than thinking about us playing together like we always do. I wonder if he found the key. I lost the other day. He was pretty sad when I did because it's for his dad's garden shed. I do. And Martin has always been afraid of him. I think Martin's dad is a bit like Dad's God. Is that because of the mute button? The key fell in a burrow next to the shed. Poor Martin, he cried like a baby, but I still love him. August 24th. Mom often cries when she feels lonely. I think there's no reason for her to cry. Mom can be stupid sometimes. Dad works a lot because of that wealthy Englishman buying everything. That's what notaries do. They make sure that people get what they're paying for. Basically, it's complicated, but that's how Dad explained it to me. The rich guy doesn't look half as bad as Martin told me he was. When I saw him in the morning at Dad's office, he told me, "Call me Uncle Willie." I found that pretty funny. Plus, he gave me candy. Okay, it was kind of old and dry, but still candy. I think Dad gets along well with Uncle Willie because when he's with him, he laughs all the time, the same way he does with Father LaBelle. September 22nd, I had to gobble up Dr. Beaupre's horrible medicine because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have made it to Christmas, or so he said. I haven't seen Martin in weeks, nor do I go to school for that matter. Dad has been praying beside my bed every morning for a while now, and at bedtime too. Today he went hunting with Uncle Willie, and he told me to ask God to bless him in my prayers. Page 3. I think this has to do with the medicine that only the richest of rich can afford. Dad told me he'll be praying for Uncle Willie until the day he dies, and that I should do the same. God, Father Label, and now Uncle Willie. I wonder when Dad finds the time to pray for Santa Claus. September 28th. How can Mom be so stupid? And she's getting fat, too. She cries like a newborn puppy all the time. It's so annoying. I came across Martin today. He seemed pretty thin and maybe kind of dirty. He doesn't look as neat and presentable as Uncle Willie, that's for sure. Took a nap today, and it had actually kind of had the opposite effect that it was supposed to have. It made me more tired. Puppy love. Another Etch-a-Sketch. Sylvie's diary. Oh my goodness, what's with all the diaries?
The
people?
Bedards had vacated the premises. Carl gathered they would be of no help.
August 14th, 1970. It is now October 1970, by the way, if you weren't aware. This game takes place in 70. Jean-Luc Picard never had a knack for mathematics. Try as he might, he'll never realize that he simply cannot be the father of the child I'm bearing. But how can I be sure? I have to keep this secret, at least until the time is right, when it'll be safe. August 16th. Dr. Beaupre told me it would start showing soon, that I couldn't keep it hidden forever. Gotta muster courage, he said with his usual condescending tone. Courage to face what's coming, but he doesn't get it at all. For him, I just had some childish affair. He doesn't realize I brought an eternal damnation upon myself. September 14th. Marie is very sick, and Jean-Luc plunges into despair. I told him nothing about the evil growing inside me. Yikes. Sometimes I get the feeling he can see right through me. My Marie's suffering, and I'm the one to blame. Oh, Lord Almighty, why do children have to pay their parents' sins? September 24th. Marie has recovered, but there's something really gloomy about her now. She always seems so sad. Maybe she caught a glimpse of what dying is like. What if she's an unhappy child now because of me? Jean-Luc truly honored me 2 nights ago. If the baby makes it, maybe Dr. Beaupre could convince him it was born prematurely. It's my only way out.
We're headed to Loch St. John tomorrow. Jean tomorrow to visit Jean-Luc's mother. I need to. The situation is untenable now, and we fear the worst. Let's look at the diary. Or the journal. See what's new in here. Case of vandalism, the crash, the cold mystery, Hamilton's murder. Let's see. Page 2 of 3. We've got some new stuff in here. Let's see, what do we got? The top right. Blackmailing Hamilton would have been beyond Jill's capacities. Could he have bitten off more than he could chew by jumping from blackmail to murder? More likely, could Giselle have convinced her husband to kill? After all, her docile partner seemed to obey this strong-minded woman. Oh, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Murder. Hamilton had committed murder. Now, we've read that one already. Is the mechanic to be trusted? If so, is this whole thing just a big vendetta? Nothing new there. The hunt. Bottom right, I got hold of a journal. It bears witness to a hunt. Someone tried to stop a beast. I can't understand all of it, but I feel a bit less lonely. And these are all the people. Jean Roy, female, Manistan 40, novelist. Jean-Luc Bedard. It would appear the good notary knows William Hamilton pretty well. Not surprising, the rich man must always know the notary of his village well. After all, he needs him to get the law on his side when he wants to exploit poor workers. Lucky for them, the Bedards went to visit the grandmother at Loch St. John. Sylvie Bedard, female, Manistan 33, housewife. Sylvie is the unfaithful spouse of the notary and caring mother of 3. Unfortunately, she has an illegitimate child on the way. She left with her family to visit her mother-in-law in Loch St. John. Is it worse to face your mother-in-law while pregnant with an illegitimate child or deal with the strange events happening here? Marie Bedard, the 8-year-old schoolgirl. Smart little girl sharing her bedroom with her older sister, Marie Jeanne. Her diary shows her intelligence, nothing exciting about her stories except her adventures with her friend Martin. I'm happy that she left the region with her family. Nothing happening here can harm her. Biography 6 of 10. Marie J. and Marie P. Females, Manistan 11 and 2 schoolgirls. The eldest and youngest of the Bedard family, 2 little girls without history, from a family who reminds me of Little Women. Instead of Dr. March's 4 girls, we might one day tell the story of Notary Bedard's 3 girls. But it would probably be a much less exciting story. Martin Blaise, 11-year-old schoolboy. This ordinary kid is only looking for entertainment in this northern desert. He plays troublemaker and brings his friends along with him. Kids will be kids, right? Doctor, we've done. Rosary. Nothing new here. Yep. And here's all of our pictures. Alright, I guess there's nothing else. Nothing else in the house. No loose change in the cracks. Alright, let's see where we are on the map. We've got one more house to go to, directly south. Ah, alright, we can zoom in.
Okay, Blaze. Martin's house is the first one on the left after the bridge, or after the fork that takes us across the bridge. Looks like we've got maybe 2 hotels off to the right there. And I think Martin's treasure map points to that second one on the right there at the end of the where the cul-de-sac is. Alright, so we'll go south from here. Back to the snowmobile. Let's go take a quick peek. It's kind of funny how off track you can get. Because we were concentrating on trying to find Saturday when we started it near the end of the stream, we were concentrating on trying to find some white wine so that we could take it back to this homemade distillery, if you will, moonshine shack, combine it with some sherry to make this stuff called caribou for the old man who's going to give us some warm clothes. But while we were looking for that, we did the snowmobile, did all of that stuff, and then we wind up going to all these other houses. So which way are we going? Like the direction we're facing. Although, that's kind of the way we came in, right? Here's the street. For Wilfred, dear Mr. See, I'm pronouncing this "wa" because of hockey. There's a what was the guy's name? He was a goaltender, I think. Patrick. Spelled Roy, but it's pronounced "wa" or "ra" or something like that, as I recall. I'm writing this because I feel guilty. The other day, Martin and I were taking a stroll not far from your house, and we saw that the door to your shed was open. I wanted us to mind our own business, but Martin likes living on the edge. He took a few shiny things, including some bullets. Now, my father always told me to never play with those things, so I immediately put them back, but Martin hid the other things. I confess, Mr. Wah, I have so many regrets, but you mustn't call the police. You won't call for them, will you? My father would be so angry. I will bring back all of your things, I promise. Marie Bedard. Yeah, going back to your earlier comment, zombie. What do you prefer to be called, by the way? Do you want the whole thing? Do you prefer just zombie or John or Vaughn or? The way I
It
typically
was so
do.
cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
The way I typically do my stuff is if I notice something in somebody else's stream that I don't necessarily like in theirs, I don't do it in mine. Like the mic. I don't like seeing streamers where I can see their mic.
So that's why you don't see mine. It's not necessarily because I think the mic is ugly or anything like that. I just don't like seeing it. So that's why you don't see it on mine. Okay, so note from Jean-Noir. We fled. It was getting too dangerous. More people live in Northmenistan. It will be safer there. Jean-Noir. Assuming that is correct pronunciation. All right.
It was a classic Canadian house, except for the absent horde of kids that would normally be swarming about.
Oh, close the door. Close the door. Trust me, it took a long time and a lot of adjustments. Can I not? Oh, my inventory must be full. Yep. Shit. Let's see. What did we do? We dropped water, wasn't it? We dropped water before. Will that be enough? Really? Oh my God. Okay, well, we can do that too, I guess. Not what I wanted to do. Inventory, no. See, I am going to freeze to death because of this stupid inventory management system. Thank you. There we go. As far as the mic goes, John, it could be your gain. I don't know what you have it on the I forget which, is it cardioid? Set it to cardioid mode. I think the gain is all the way down to 0. I mean, it's literally about, let's see, it's about that far from my mouth. I have a I'll pull it off. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I have a, I don't know what these are called, but it's not a, you know, the typical things on it. It's I think it's called a windscreen. It's like $4 or $5. Yeah, pop filter. That's it. That's it. Couldn't remember the name. But I don't remember if there were any OBS specific settings. Because it's just plug and play, right? It's, you know, there are no drivers, they're dead simple to connect to the computer. Yeah, I use OBS. I wouldn't imagine there would be that much of a difference. Did I open these already? Probably. Okay. You talking about a noise gate?
One thing you might want to consider looking into potentially is you may have heard of it, you may have not, you may already have it, you may have not. So if you do, that's fine, obviously. But a program called Voice Meter Banana. It has some adjustments that you can, a little bit more things that you can adjust on your microphone input. That might help clean it up some. It's free. Works pretty well. Yeah, just do a Google search for Voice Meter, all one word with two E's, not, it's Meeter instead of Meter. Banana, and you could get some information about that.
The photograph was snapped not too far from here, Carl noticed. The couple seemed to be very good friends.
But it also has, you can increase or reduce the echo. You can remove bass. You can remove treble. The highs and lows. There's a lot of adjustments that you can make, including a noise gate as well. So it might be something to look into.
The couple radiated something akin to lightheartedness, to freedom. Perhaps some people out there truly found a way to live happily ever after. A picture of Wilfred in his youth. Carl figured right away that the man must have been some kind of wildlife officer.
I want to save those documents. Save those for last. Canopoly. If you win, if you pass, go. Nice.
All manners of clothing were gone, as if the Rois drove out of town with their closet in tow.
The was. More cigarettes. Novel, page 2. All right, we'll save that until we get the first page. I'm sure that's probably what was laying on the table that we did not pick up. Novel, page 1. We'll hold off in case there's another page. Apple Jacques. Nice. Some more law. Oh shit! I didn't even notice those. We could have just grabbed one from there. Of course, we would have had to mess with our inventory anyway. Regardless. Let's see. We already got that room. Page 3.
A murderer's diary. Carl's detective training compelled him to write some excerpts down. What sort of monster could give life to such a bizarre tale?
Bullets.
Not a single weapon was left. All of them were gone.
Interesting, there's no hallway light switch. Unless... No, that's the living room. So what controls that light? Alright. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, I am using the voice meter banana. I am. There's some other things that I want to do with it that I'm not
Simone
sure
de
you can do
Beauvoir,
with
Claude
out of the
Lévi-Strauss,
box OBS.
Hannah Arendt, Roland Barthes. Carl was surprised by the literature filling this liberal-leaning bookcase. Could there really be intellectuals dwelling in this far-off land?
Yeah, like I said, it's you can go into the settings. Where is it? Is it audio? Yeah, you see the bottom right there, narration frequency. You can change it to where he'll play. You'll do everything, or just the important stuff. It hasn't gotten. Excuse me. It hasn't gotten super annoying yet.
Just one more move and White is checkmated. Game over. It
Game
seems the
over,
game was
man.
abandoned right before the final strike came down.
Yeah, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Captain Obvious. All right, we were looking for documents, right? Looking for the novel. So we've got about 10 minutes left, so we're getting close to the end of the day. So we'll read through this and see where we are. The Fantasy, page 1. Mathieu had yet to add murderer to his curriculum. He was fond of new experiences, especially the most thrilling ones, and taking the life of a flesh and bone individual who the night before was still able to think, dream, fantasize, calculate, read, held the promise of exhilarating sensations. Unlike Raskolnikov, it wasn't about axing an old Jewish hag to pieces to test some lunatic theory, not at all. Matthews just wanted to know how it felt. It seemed so simple, horribly simple. He didn't have any particular victim in mind. Like most people, his desires ran quite wildly, so he only had a vague idea of them in mind. He pondered using a rifle or knife, assassinating a young girl or an old man. He tried to focus on practicability. His victim would have to be defenseless. Bodybuilding wasn't exactly Matthew's strong suit. He would have to act spontaneously, but not too much. He wasn't that eager to learn what spending the rest of his life in prison would be like. Some experiences carry just too high a cost to be worth it, really. Give a tip to my bot? I don't know. He might be offended. Oh, man, really? You'll make me go all the way back in there to do that? Page 2. The Fantasy, page 2. It was around that time that Matthew met Beatrice. Of mediocre beauty at best, the girl with her distinctive features, cheeked covered with large pox-like freckles, Jew nose, oily forehead, tired but vibrant eyes, shaded red hair, slender as a child body, chirpy laugh, you name it, was the very image of innocence. That happened to be precisely the kind of victim Matthew was picturing in his mind. Though, one night, as he was contemplating the ceiling from his bed, he swore to himself again and again, "I'll kill her." His dreams were later filled with images of the imminent crime. He had come up with a simple enough plan. One fair evening, he would visit her place to become familiar with the area's intricacies and feel closer to the impending murder to slowly dig into Beatrice's thoughts, desires, dreams, and abilities. This way he would be able to get a concrete sense of what his sinister deed would be, stripping away from the very fabric of life. Boy, this is pretty dark, huh? The whole thing would take 2 days, a week at most. Page 3. The first time he met Beatrice, however, she unexpectedly revealed her troubled origins to Matthew. She was adopted at the age of 4, and recalling her former life still gave her a hard time. She played the piano in so graceful a manner that most people often thought she may be the natural offspring of a musical virtuoso. She always cried before falling asleep, torn from the inside by a dreadful pain she couldn't imagine. She confided to him so profoundly that Matthew couldn't get enough, coming back every night to learn every single thing of what would come out of that delicate mouth after pulling one last breath out of it. Every night he reflected on what the death of Beatrice would mean in terms of losses to humanity's common heritage, be it the sound of her sobbing or her piano melodies, the compulsive tapping of her long index finger on her temple when she harbored dark thoughts, or any other little thing. It didn't matter. Everything would indiscriminately vanish. Everything. All these thoughts made for some blissful slumbers indeed. Then days became weeks, and before he knew it, it was Matthew's turn to throw his secrets at her. His hopes, his cries of despair, as if throwing coins in a wishing well. She'll be dead by the end of the month, he promised himself. He's gonna wind up falling in love with this woman or something? Not killing her? Page 4. The two lovebirds were still going at it 7 months later, though, confiding fears and desires alike near the fireplace several days a week. The populace took notice, and wounding words eventually found their way into Matthew's ear, prompting him to take action to prove his gentlemanship. He had to ask Beatrice's hand in marriage. He would have more than enough time to kill her later. Today, when Matthew stares at the motionless ceiling, just like he did 20 years ago, he still wonders what he would be removing from existence by slitting Beatrice's throat. What he would be depriving his children of then, as if soothed by his fantasy, he gently drifts off, smiling the night away. Weird. Alright, so we've just got a couple of minutes here. Take a look outside. Make sure there isn't anything we missed out here. Almost. Not for what I've needed it to do. I still have some things that I want to try and use it for. I mean, I'm just doing the very basic stuff right now, getting everything hooked up, essentially, properly. Like, for example, one of the things that I want to get working is being able to integrate voice chat from Discord and have it come across into the stream. So that way, if I play something, you know, online or whatever with friends while I'm also streaming it, they'll be able to get that audio into the stream as well. So that's one of the things that I wanted to try and use it for, and in being able to set up all those hardware and virtual inputs would allow me to mix all of that stuff. Well, virtual audio cable is it's by the same people that did Banana, right? Or at least they have a virtual audio cable. And those things allow you to do that. Yep. So that's how they tie together. All right, so I think that's going to be it for the night. There's really nothing else for us to do here, I think. trying to think. Let's take a look at the map. I think we've covered everything. Do you have a hardware mixer? Ah, right. That would do it. Yeah, all right. I think we've got everything down here that we need to do, or at least that we can do for now. I think tomorrow what we'll do is first we'll go back up to the gas station. I think we got the extra can. I think we can fill that up, put some gas in it, and then we'll start marching up the highway there, the double lined red road, stopping off at Martin's house, maybe taking a right there and see, excuse me, about that treasure, and going from there. Ah, right. Yeah, I'm only using the default one that's built into the motherboard. All right, so yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. We will be here. We'll pick right back up here tomorrow at 6 o'clock, normal time, 6 to 9. 6 to 9 Tuesday, normal Tuesday. And let's see, for any new folks that we have, when we shut down, on the bottom left of your screen, you'll see a link to my schedule. I try to keep that up to date, and I will review it when I shut down. There's also a link to my Twitter handle. You can follow me there if you like. And thank you, Ty. I appreciate it. And let's see. Hey, Hascat, you're still there, man. We didn't put you to sleep. All that reading. So yeah, that's going to be it. I will see you guys tomorrow night right here. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your night. Oh, let's see, the misbehaving apps, man. See ya.